Jada Pinkett Smith, is she actually a demon? Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. I've provided you with expert insight the last few days with regard to what Will Smith is, what Jada Pinkett Smith is, and also further commentary about the various interactions that have taken place to enable you to understand more. A repeated comment that has appeared on my channel is reference to her being a demon, being demonic, that there is this Jezebel spirit that has somehow possessed her. This shows up from time to time across my other videos, where my kind, the narcissists, are accused of being demons. Indeed, I am, of course, naturally possessed and infested by a demonic spirit that entered my anus only this morning to ensure that I then behave in a particular way towards individuals possessed by this demon. Of course, one can understand the description of the behavior as being demonic, but it is interesting to see just how often the use of the word demon or the phrase possessed by a demon and the Jezebel spirit, which is analogous to the suggestion of a demon, crops up. Is it accurate for people to be using this description? Is it problematic that they do so? Is it the case that Jada Pinkett Smith, like any narcissist, is actually somebody that is possessed by a demon? Well, as you will see coming across your screen, there are a number of pictures of her which encapsulate that imperious dead-eyed stare of hers, and, of course, has enlisted many people to say that's the look of a demon looking out at the world. That shows that she is demonic. It's important for there to be understanding about narcissism and its impact to address questions such as, is she really a demon? Of course, there are individuals who adopt a perspective because of their religion that they embrace the concept of good and evil. I've explained elsewhere that there's no objective standard of good and evil. It's not written on a stone tablet at the end of the universe. What is good for one person is bad for another. What is bad for one person is good for another. It's a matter of perspective. And perspectives change. Take, for instance, the issue of slavery. Attitudes towards slavery have changed over time, whereby certain individuals deemed that it was entirely appropriate to keep people in slavery and treat them as a chattel. And then the body of opinion changed so that it became outlawed. Of course, we have a version of modern slavery these days, where there are still people that deem that it's appropriate for a human being to be treated in that manner. No prizes for guessing who those individuals are that deem it appropriate. Take homosexuality. Homosexuality was regarded as a sin, and still is by some people. Even in the United Kingdom, it was a crime. And then, of course, attitudes changed, perspectives altered, and the idea of homosexuality being a bad thing has changed. So it's important to recognise that the concepts of good and evil, right and wrong, good or bad, are fluid concepts. And therefore, the attitude that's applicable to whether an individual is demonic is also something that is a matter of perspective and is fluid. And so it's understandable, particularly those that are of a religious bent, that they see the behaviour of a narcissist as demonic and believe that that's a consequence of a possession of some kind of demon entity. But it's important also, notwithstanding the fact that that person has that perspective, that they gain insight and the accurate information to avoid continuing misleading of other individuals. It's important to provide clear observations about what's really happening, so that armed with that accurate information, people can make informed decisions about what they wish to do. And in answering this question about whether Jada Pinkett Smith is actually a demon, seeing as so many people have offered their opinion in the comment section that they believe that she is, I'm going to take you to one of my videos that poses the question about narcissists and whether they're demonically possessed, so that you can listen to that and make your own mind up as to what you believe is appropriate, given clear, accurate information from me as a narcissist myself. Listen, adopt. Repeatedly, I see people commenting, narcissists are demons. Well, yes, our behaviour may appear to be like that of a demon, but are we actually demons? No, demons don't exist. Are we perhaps subjected to some kind of demonic possession? People often say narcissists are possessed by demonic powers. Their soul has been sucked out of them and replaced by the essence of a demon. Narcissists are subjected to demonic influences and powers. The narcissist is possessed. This is actually a very straight question, and one which is very simple to answer. Accordingly, this straight question is, are narcissists possessed by demons? The answer is no. Let me say that again in case you misheard me. Narcissists are not subjected to demonic influence. Narcissists are not demons. Narcissists are not subjected to demonic possession. Got that? Good. If you want to understand what narcissism is, listen to my video, What is Narcissism? If you want to understand what makes a narcissist, and therefore realise it's nothing to do with demons, ectoplasm, Jezebel spirits, demonic influences, demonic possession, then listen to my other video, What Makes a Narcissist? Actually get some logic rather than pandering to these nonsense theories about demonic possession. The people that propound such ideas don't understand narcissism. It might accord with their religious beliefs. Fair enough. Let them have those religious beliefs, but keep them to yourself. Don't go round telling people that narcissism is demonism. Don't go round saying that narcissists are subjected to demonic influences and demonic possession, because you are wrong. You're misleading people, you're inaccurate, and that's not going to help anybody understand narcissism, and it's not going to help anybody deal with it. Accordingly, stop doing it. And again, just in case you don't quite grasp it, I'll phrase the question again. Are narcissists subjected to demonic influence? Are you ready? No. And with that said, if you now feel that you need something a little more soothing in your life, here's a selection of poetry for you to listen to, read by me, because there's nothing else that needs to be said about the demonic influence or possession upon the narcissist. Thank you. Invictus by William Ernest Henley. Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fell clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeonings of chance, my head is bloody, but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horror of the shade, and yet the menace of the years finds and shall find me unafraid. It matters not how strait the gate, how charged with punishments the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Let Me Count the Waves by Sandra Beasley. You must not skirt the issue wearing skirts. You must not duck the bullet using ducks. You must not face the music with your face. Head-butting, don't use your head or your butt. You must not use a house to build a home, and never look for poetry in poems. In fact,
Inject giraffes into your poems. Let loose the circus monkeys in their skirts. Explain the nest of wood is not a home at all, but a blind for shooting wild ducks. Grab the shotgun by its metrical butt. Aim at your muse's quacking, pringled face. It's good we're talking like this, face to face. There should be more headbutting over poems. Citing an 80s brand has its cost, but honours me. The teenage me, always in skirts, showing my sister how to be the duck with a potato chip beak. Take me home, Mr. Revel, or make yourself at home in my postbellum. Reconstruction face, my grey eyes, my rebel ears, all my ducks in the row of a defeated mouth. Poems were once civil, but war has torn my skirts off at the first ruffle, baring my butt, or, as termed in verse, my luminous butt. Whitman once made a hospital his home. Emily built a prison of her skirts. Tigers roamed the sad veldt of Stephen's face. That was the old landscape. All the new poems map the 2 dimensions of cartoon ducks. We're young and green. We are braces of mallards, not barrels of fish. Shoot if you must, but Donald, we're with you. Trying to save poems, we settle and frame their ramshackle homes. What is form? Turning art to artifice, trading pelts for a more durable skirt. Even urban ducklings deserve a home. Make way. In the modern, make way butt-face. A poem is coming through, lifting her skirt. My Life Had Stood a Loaded Gun by Emily Dickinson. My life had stood a loaded gun in corners till a day. The owner passed, identified, and carried me away. And now we roam in sovereign woods, and now we hunt the doe, and every time I speak for him, the mountains straight reply. And do I smile such cordial light upon the valley glow? It is as a Vesuvian face had let its pleasure through. And when, at night, our good day done, I guard my master's head, 'tis better than the eider duck's deep pillow to have shared. To foe of his I'm deadly foe, none stir the second time, on whom I lay a yellow eye or an emphatic thumb. Though I than he may longer live, he longer must than I, for I have but the power to kill, without the power to die. No Coward Soul Is Mine by Emily Bronte. No coward soul is mine, no trembler in the world's storm-troubled sphere. I see heaven's glories shine, and faith shines equal, arming me from fear. O God within my breast, almighty ever-present deity, life that in me hast rest, as I, undying life, have power in thee. Vain are the 1,000 creeds that move men's hearts unutterably vain, worthless as withered weeds, or idlest froth amid the boundless main. To waken doubt in one, holding so fast by thy infinity, so surely anchored on the steadfast rock of immortality. With wide, embracing love, thy spirit animates eternal years, pervades and broods above, changes, sustains, dissolves, creates, and rears. Though earth and moon were gone, and suns and universes ceased to be, and thou wert left alone, every existence would exist in thee. There is not room for death, nor atom that his might could render void, since thou art being and breath, and what thou art may never be destroyed. Don't quit. When things go wrong, as they sometimes will, when the road you're trudging seems all uphill, when the funds are low and the debts are high, and you want to smile, but you have to sigh, when care is pressing you down a bit, rest if you must, but don't you quit. For life is queer, with its twists and turns, as every one of us sometimes learns, and many a failure turns about, when he might have won had he stuck it out. Don't give up, though the pace seems slow. You may succeed with another blow. Success is failure turned inside out, the silver tint of the clouds of doubt. And you never can tell how close you are. It may be near when it seems so far. So stick to the fight when you're hardest hit. It's when things seem worst that you must not quit. She Walks in Beauty by Lord Byron. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that's best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress, or softly lightens o'er her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express how pure, how dear their dwelling place. And on that cheek and o'er that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. Fire and Ice by Robert Frost. Some say the world will end in fire, some say in ice. From what I've tasted of desire, I hold with those who favour fire. But if it had to perish twice, I think I know enough of hate to say that for destruction ice is also great, and would suffice. Enlightenment by Natasha Trethewey. In the portrait of Jefferson that hangs at Monticello, he is rendered two-toned, his forehead white with illumination. A lit bulb, the rest of his face in shadow, darkened as if the artist meant to contrast his bright knowledge, its dark subtext. By 1805, when Jefferson sat for the portrait, he was already linked to an affair with his slave. Against a backdrop, blue and ethereal, a wash of paint that seems to hold him in relief, Jefferson gazes out across the centuries, his lips fixed as if he's just uttered some final word. The first time I saw the painting, I listened as my father explained the contradictions, how Jefferson had hated slavery, though, out of necessity, my father said, had to own slaves, that his moral philosophy meant he could not have fathered those children. It would have been impossible, my father said. For years we debated the distance between word and deed. I'd follow my father from buck to buck, gathering citations, listening, as he named, like a field guide to Virginia, each flower and tree and bird, as if to prove a man's pursuit of knowledge is greater than his shortcomings, the limits of his vision. I did not know, when the subtext of our story, that my father could imagine Jefferson's words made flesh in my flesh. The improvement of the blacks in body and mind in the first instance of their mixture with the whites, or that my father could believe he'd made me better. When I think of this now, I see how the past holds us captive, its beautiful ruin etched on the mind's eye. My young father, a rough outline of the old man he's become, needing to show me the better measure of his heart, an equation writ large at Monticello. That was years ago. Now we take in how much has changed, talk of Sally Hemings, someone asking, how white was she? Passing the fractions as if to name what made her worthy of Jefferson's attentions. A near white, quadroon mistress, not a plain black slave. Imagine stepping back into the past, our guide tells us then, and I can't resist whispering to my father, this is where we split up. I'll head around to the back. When he laughs, I know he's grateful. I've made a joke of it, this history that links us, white father, black daughter, even as it renders us other to each other.